How's it going with your New Year's resolutions? I mean, really, are you still on track? In fact, how did it go with the goals you set yourself for 2019? Did you actually manage to achieve them? Or maybe did you fall by the wayside? Well, if you are sick of creating goals that you never achieve, then this video is for you, because I have a simple formula that's going to help you to create goals that you actually will achieve. You ready to change your life? Let's dive in. Happy Wednesday, YouTubers. I'm Emma Jane, your life coach on the couch, coming to you from Reroute Your Life. Now, I love making goals. It's one of my favorite things to do in life. And what I love even more than making goals is actually achieving my goals. Yet for years, I had a problem with actually achieving my goals. And I know many of you are out there and you feel the same. That's probably why you're watching this video, right? You know, it took me such a long time to crack the code. But these days, as a transformational life coach, achieving goals and helping other people achieve goals is actually the bread and butter of what I do with my day-to-day life. And I have created this really simple 6-step formula to help people manifest their goals, and it works. So that's what I want to share with you today. So the key to actually manifesting your goals is my 6-step formula. And the first part is really simple. It's get clear, get real. Number 2 is to create SMART ACT goals. Number 3 is to create a roadblock strategy. Number 4 is to get it visible. Number 5 is to create your community. And lastly, number 6 is to focus on the process, not the goal. So let me explain this a little bit deeper, and grab a pad and pencil, because I'm sure you're going to wait to make some notes so that you can apply this to your own life. Step number 1 is getting clear and getting real. If you're not clear about what you want to do, and if you don't really want to do it, that goal's not going to work. So before you actually set your goals, I always say to my clients to do some self-reflection, and I have a couple of questions to help you with that. I'll put all the questions below, but they're also in an article which you can find in the blurb below, so you can go and work on this later on. But the first thing you need to look at is what is not working. What is going wrong? What is it you actually want to change? The second thing is to have a look at what brings you joy. What is working in your life? Because you might want to build a goal around something that's actually existing. It doesn't just have to be negative things we're trying to change. It could also be more of the positive things that we're trying to bring into our life. The third is looking at what you really want to do. Now, all of us have got this sneaky little goal inside of us, this dream that we haven't manifested yet. Just a second, my neighbors are driving by. So you've got this goal within you, right? You've got this dream that's basically going, pick me, you need to work on me this year. So what is that goal? Which goal is saying, oh, come on, manifest me right now? Which dream wants to be alive? Another good one to have a look at is to look at, of all the goals that you want to create, what are the actions that you might be resisting? So you may have a goal with something that you've tried before, for example, that hasn't actually worked. And that could be because of the actions you had to take with something that you really didn't want to do. So you can have a look and identify what those are, but you can also have a look and work out why you're resisting them. If you understand something, you can do something about it, right? And lastly, I would like you to have a look at, are you really passionate about that change? So go through those questions, just really do some self-reflection, because if you do this deep work, if you go back into the root, you're more likely to manifest your goal. Now, once you've done that, when you've got clearer and you're being real about it, start to draft out your goals. It could be something like, I would like more me time, or I would like to work on my self-confidence, I want to get that promotion at work, I want to start my own business, whatever it is. But I'd like you to limit yourself to 6 steps, 6 goals. Right? 6 is a magic number as far as I'm concerned. And the reason for this is that very often when we're creating goals, we get hugely inspired. We start to look at everything and get idea after idea after idea. And all of a sudden we've got 23 goals. And it's just impossible to do that amount of manifestation in 1 year, especially if you're just starting out to create goals that you can actually achieve. So set yourself 6 goals, no more than 6. Go on, just write them down, have a look at it. And when you've got the vague outline of your goal, take a look at each one, and this is where you really need to reroute within yourself. It's where you really need to connect with your core and ask yourself, do I really want this? So we've got the clear, this is getting real. Do I really want this in my life? Do I really want to manifest this in my life? And guess what? If the answer isn't yes, then you don't want to do it. If you're kind of like, maybe, or, a maybe is a no. If you're not 100% sure that's something you want to do, then how the heck are you going to expect yourself to manifest it? It might be something you could try out, so you could change your goal to say, I would like to try this year. But don't try and force yourself to do something that you really, 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 really know is not something you want. It's a great way of setting yourself up for a fail if you do. So if that's not what something you really want, cross it off, find something else. Go back to your reflection question, see if there's another change that could be more important. Get deeper, take a layer off, and get really in touch with what you really, really do want to change. Step number 2 is SMART Act goals. Now, you've probably heard of SMART goals. They've been around for donkey's years, and it's still all the rage because it's a really, really effective system. But I've actually sort of built onto that system, and I've created something called the SMART Act system, which is a little bit different to just making your goals smart. It's also looking at the actions you're going to create. So let's have a look at the SMART part first. So if you've done this before, you know what to do. Start taking those goals from the step 1 and start making the SMART goals. If you haven't done that before, this is what I want you to do. SMART is an acronym that stands for S, specific, M, measurable, A, achievable, R, realistic, and T is time-bound. Now, basically, what you need to do is to take your what I call floofy goal, or the first draft goal, and make it very specific. So for example, if your goal was, I want to have more me time in 2020. Well, yeah, that's not very specific. It's a nice idea, but how are you going to actually do it? How are you going to measure that you've done it? So it could be you change your goal from, I would like some me time each week. That makes it a little bit more specific. It could be, I would like an hour of me time each week, or a day of me time if you're lucky enough to have a lifestyle that can support that, right? So you get a little bit more specific. Then, is it measurable? Well, if you're saying I would like 1 hour of me time each week, then yeah, that's very measurable. You can say to yourself each week, have I succeeded in my goal? Have I not succeeded in my goal? It's very, very easy for you to count. Now, is it achievable? Well, have a look at your lifestyle. You know that better than I do. If you're a mum or dad and you've got a lot of kids, or a very high-pressure job and you've got an education, is an hour a week realistic? So really, really check in and say, can I actually do that? Can I really achieve that? And this is where the A and the R, the achievable, realistic, kind of go together, because it might be achievable, but is it realistic to your schedule? So you can kind of blend those two together and just really say, okay, is it possible for me to have an hour of me time a week without the kids or without work? Or is that really, really possible? I hope for your sake it is. And then time bound. So a really good way of making this goal time bound is saying, I am going to have 1 hour per week of me time in 2020. So that way you're specifically setting it for a whole year. If you were doing it for a month, it'd be, I will like 1 hour per week in March or in June, wherever you're at, right? So you've taken that, what I call fluffy goal, from I would like more me time in 2020 to I will have 1 hour's me time per week in 2020. So that is something you can very easily measure it and check off. So that's the SMART part. But what about the ACT? Well, ACT simply stands for actions. A goal without a plan is just a wish. A goal with a plan gives you a step closer, and then by actually acting on that plan, that's going to get you closer to manifesting again. So for each SMART goal that you've created, when you've got it really, really smart, then create your action plan. Basically, it's a recipe of the steps you're going to take so that you can actually manifest that goal. Because goals can sometimes seem really big, right? They can seem like too much. So break the goal down into baby steps, into mini mouthfuls, into different ingredients, so that you can actually go do one, then the next, then the next, then the next. So SMART act your goals. That's step number 2. Step number 3 is create a roadblock strategy. Basically, when you're on a manifestation journey, when you're trying to achieve goals, you know it never ever goes smoothly. Life is a journey. It's like an up and down roller coaster, right? But there will be roadblocks. There might be something within you, those things that you were resisting, we talked about in step number 1, or it might be that something external comes in and makes it difficult for you to achieve your goal. Now, you won't be able to prepare for everything, but there are some things that you might already be aware of that are going to be challenging for you. So, the classic is if you're quitting smoking, you know that when you go to a party that you like to have a cigarette, and how could you do that differently? What could be a different strategy that's to stop you going, just have the one? So look at your roadblocks and create a strategy. You won't be able to cover all of them, but you will have a strategy to cope with some of them. This one's really easy. Step number 5 is to make your goals visible. You can do this in a number of different ways. You can write it out and have it on your wall, somewhere you see it every day. You could make it your screensaver on your phone or on your computer. You could also create a vision board, and I'm doing a video, I think I did a video last week actually about creating vision boards, so you can have a look at that and turn your vision board into your guide to your goals. So make it visible, make it something that you can see every day so you can remind yourself, come hell or high water, that's what I'm going for. Make it so that it's inspiring. This is not a thing to nag you. This is a thing to remind you, this is what I want. And if you're finding yourself going off track, if you're finding that you're not achieving that goal, that's what this thing is, this poster or this screensaver is going to help you, because it's going to remind you, oh yeah, that's what I wanted. You can go back to your plan, pick it up from where you left off and carry on. If your plan's not working, you can change it a little bit. So don't think of this as a nag. Think of it as a helpful tool that's going to help you keep on track to manifesting your goals. So now you've got your plan, you've got your goal, you've made it visible. What do you need next? You need your team, right? I mean, if you look at any successful person in the world, Oprah, for example, she has a team of people helping her. She didn't at the beginning, she does now. Every athlete that's trying to go for a goal has a coach, has a mentor, has teammates. So we need support. We're human beings. We're not created to do absolutely everything on our own. So get support. You could, for example, ask a friend to be accountable for the goal that you set about me time. So you could ask that friend to write to you once a week on Messenger or something like that and say to you, hey, how's your me time going this week? Just to help you, remind you. It's a way of making yourself accountable. When we tell people we're going to do things and we say we want to make that change, and when we ask for their help, then it's a lot easier to do that. So gather your tribe, get your team, get your coach, get your support, and you are going to be closer to manifesting your goals. The last part of this formula is possibly one of the most important out there for setting your goals and achieving your goals. And that is to focus on the process, not the goal itself. So you must have heard the old adage that people saying, oh, I'll be really happy when I get that promotion. I'll be really happy when I win the lottery. When I. They're focusing on the goal. They're not focusing on now. Now, when you've made SMART goals, when you've created this action plan, that's the plan. That's the bit that you want to focus on. The goal is there. You've got your inspiration around the place. You've told your tribe what you're going to do. But it's those steps. That's the process. That's the fun part, because manifesting a goal, yeah, it feels great when you get that goal. But if you follow the process, if you really focus on that, you start to celebrate the mini goals. You start to make your everyday enjoyable, because you can feel proud you're working towards something you want. And if you're only focusing on that goal, then you're not going to feel proud and you're not going to feel motivated. Dopamine helps us keep us motivated. So if you follow the plan, celebrate your mini milestones, and focus on that process of journey, the ups, the downs, the whole kit and caboodle, then you are going to have a much better chance of actually reaching that point where you go, yes, I did it, no matter what it is you're trying to do. So enjoy the journey, like I'm always saying, right? Focus on the process. That's it, guys. That's literally the formula. Very, very simple, but like I always say, if you're working with life transformation, it's best to keep it simple, because if it's simple, it's easy to do, right? So now I want to hear from you guys. What goals are you working on this year, and how did you make them SMART goals? I really, really would love to keep up with your progress, so let me know in the comments below, and you can come over to the Facebook community if you like, because there we have lots of people like you who are working on transforming their life, and it's really, really good to have a community to support you, like I said in the rest of the video. So you can come over there and tell us your goals, tell us what you're working on so that we can give you the support to actually achieve them. There's also an article about this that I wrote on our website, which I'll put the link down below so you can go and check that out. And don't forget to come along to the Reroute Facebook page, because this week we've got lots of videos and articles and different ideas for you on how you can create goals that you can actually achieve and keep on track. It's up to you. Transforming your life is something we can all do, and I know you have the power in you to do it, and I love helping you on that journey. I'll see you next Wednesday. Don't forget to subscribe and to ring that bell, because I have some great videos coming up in the next couple of weeks that are also going to support you with this manifesting your process and transforming your life. So I'm very excited about those. But until I see you, until we connect again next Wednesday, I hope wherever you are, whatever you're doing, that you're enjoying the journey. Take care.